The 5 marketing mistakes that I'm going to cover in this video are preventing hundreds of online health and fitness coaches from signing more clients on a weekly basis and growing their business to $20,000 a month plus. And if you fix these mistakes, you'll start to attract high quality clients who can afford your services and push away people who are not good fits. And that's what we want, right? We want people who are excited to pay us and people who we don't have to chase down every single month for their payments. If you do want that, stick around to the end of this video so you know exactly what to fix in your content to attract higher quality leads. All right, so for us to do this, we're gonna jump over into my iPad. Okay, so mistake number 1 that a lot of coaches make in their marketing is they try to be an influencer, okay? Because they think, oh, if I'm an influencer and I create viral content, I'll get more followers. Well, guys, I hate to tell you, but more followers does not equal more dollars, okay? It doesn't. I wish it did, but it doesn't. They're different strategies. Our goal as business owners, right? If you own an online coaching business, you're a business owner. And your goal with social media is not to build a massive audience. Your goal is to generate leads, okay? Leads, good quality leads do equal more dollars, okay? Here's how we do that. We create content that has these 3 pillars. So there's 3 pillars that need to be met to create leads from your social media content. Number 1 is you have to build trust, okay? And I hate to say it, but the content over here that increases followers doesn't always build trust, right? It doesn't, okay? It's kind of more superficial, can get a lot of reach, but the content that builds trust is more depth content, okay? Depth and vulnerability. I feel like I preach about this because I just don't see it enough, right? When people are like, oh, I'm not having a good response rate to my DMs, or I'm not getting X, Y, and Z, I'm like, well, how deep are you going, right? Because if I go deeper and I open up with somebody, I'm now allowing them to build trust because I'm trusting them with sharing something deep. It's reciprocal. If I share something vulnerable, now you can also feel safe and trust me to share something back. It's reciprocity, okay? So that's the first thing that we have to do. The second thing we have to do with our content is position us as authority, okay? Authority, I'm just going to put /expert. And again, like this content, I will say, I'll do a quick caveat. If you do have more followers, right off of a surface level, this can help with authority and expert. Being like, oh, wow, this guy's got 20,000 followers. He must know something. That's still surface level, right? People will see through that. From surface glance, it might help with the first impression. It will. But after that, what do you do to position yourself as the authority? And this does not have anything to do with your certifications, your accreditations. Nobody cares, okay? They don't. But what they care about is, can you help them? Okay? Ways that help position you as the authority is you talking about your journey. It's about connecting with people, okay? Kind of comes back up to depth and vulnerability, also build trust. Same thing with authority. They kind of all go hand in hand. But typically what builds authority and being the expert is storytelling, okay? And this could be your story, if it relates to your ideal client. So like if you're a weight loss coach and you had a time in your life where you were heavy, talking about this on a weekly basis is gonna help, okay? It also checks off the vulnerability box up here to build trust. Beautiful. Also, another way of storytelling is gonna be, your clients. Okay, people need to see social proof. They need to see that you can do the thing. And that's what we do here in this authority and expert stages. Can you showcase by telling stories before and afters of you and your clients? Now, the third thing that we need to do to generate leads with social media, this is the one that most people miss, is curiosity, is creating curiosity. Okay. Now, one of the easiest ways to do this is by creating a unique, we're just going to come down, a unique process for how you get results. Okay. And we break this down into a video training, or it could be a lead magnet, a guide. And this is all linked in bio. Okay. Linked in bio. And then let's just say let's say 2 times a week or so, you do something that promotes it, right? Because you're going to get new followers every single week. It might be a story. It could be a post. Hey, if you haven't already got this already, comment this word below and I'll send you over my free guide on how we take people from here to here in this time period using this unique process. If you can create a process that is unique and different than what other people are used to in the market, it creates curiosity. And people are driven to learn. We do not like secrets, right? We want to know what the heck is going on. And we do that by learning, right? So if I have a free guide, an opt-in or something like that really articulates your process, you're going to create curiosity to where somebody will then exchange, let's just say phone plus email, or even just like a DM, right? Like a DM, hey, I'll DM you this word, right? DM for curiosity. Oop, I spelled that wrong. Curiosity, right? They want to scratch that itch. And that's where you then can have a conversation to push to a call. Okay? Really, really simple. Okay, that is mistake number 1. Man, that was a lot of value. I feel like that could be a YouTube video in itself. Let's jump into mistake number 2. Mistake number 2 in your marketing is over-promising. I'm not sure if that's 2 words or 1. Over-promising. Okay? Over-promising results. Now, this will bite you in the butt if you can't help somebody in a certain time period and you sign them up. Let's say that you're promising, hey, we're going to help you lose 20 pounds. I'm going to say in 4 weeks, right? That's pretty super aggressive, right? Hopefully you wouldn't have a marketing message like that. But even then, like you might have like in 12 weeks, right? It could be 12 weeks. That might work for some people, but it might not work for everybody. And this is where it's important that you need to know your numbers, okay? Know your, not even numbers, know your averages. What works a lot better, instead of trying to overpromise results of how people have this crazy strength gain, weight loss in this time period, is understanding your averages. And the best way to do this is by having check-in forms, okay? And I know a lot of you guys probably already have these, but you can have check-in forms, and we like to do ours like monthly. I used to do weekly check-in forms for fitness coaching and stuff like that, but it just felt repetitive and I didn't get as good at data. So I started moving mine to monthly or even bi-weekly. And then this would have people like, fill in data, right? Like objective data. And I'm not saying like, looking at MyFitnessPal or stuff like that, but I'm just like, where is your body weight at right now? If that's one of the things you track. If it's strength, put the things in there that can give you the objective data to show what are the averages. Okay, so these check-in forms need to be data, objective. And like I said, I like doing these monthly, but if you want more data, you can definitely do it, bi-weekly. Okay, but over-promising results and under-delivering and not hitting that promise in your marketing can really destroy your business, because what happens here is we're setting people up for failure when they come in and they expect to have, a specific outcome goal. And let's say in 12 weeks, let's say 12 weeks goes by and they've lost 10 pounds. Man, we should be celebrating that, right? That's great. You just lost 10 pounds. You went from, 300 to 290, or they could probably get away with a little bit more aggressive weight loss, but you know what I mean? This is still a big win. This is huge. Great. I want to celebrate this. But you might be celebrating, but they could be upset because your marketing promise was this, right? So my big encouragement is, if you're doing this, if you're doing, hey, I can help you lose this amount in this time period in your marketing, right? Make sure when you're on your onboarding call that you assess that individual thoroughly and you set realistic expectations, okay? Realistic goals/expectations on onboarding. And if somebody is not going to lose this amount of weight in this time period, tell them. As soon as you see the opportunity of this is not going to happen, you've got to let them know. Okay? Because the sooner you let them know, they're going to feel more at ease. They're not going to be upset when the time gets here and they didn't hit their goal. Okay? This should be a constant conversation. Okay, this is one, this applies to marketing, but it also applies to fulfillment and coaching, is we got to be in integrity here. And we've got to be on people. If they start to fall off and they're not on track to hit this outcome goal, and maybe this is what we set, we've got to let them know as coaches. That's our job. Got it? Okay, that's mistake number 2. Mistake number 3 is being everywhere too early, okay? What I'm talking about here is, you've got an Instagram account, you've got a Facebook account, you've got a YouTube account, you've got a LinkedIn process, you've got a podcast. Man, I could go on for days. Don't do that, okay? Like when you're getting started, pick one, especially if you're not doing at least like 6 figures, right? So 10, 20K a month. I typically encourage most people to start with Instagram. So Instagram, I find is the easiest to start with because it has the DM feature, right? I can DM people who are new followers. If they're engaging my content, I can send messages. The same applies for Facebook, but YouTube, not so much. LinkedIn, so I don't get as good of responses. And then podcasts, it's just one way. I have no idea if they listen. I just know total number of downloads, right? So most people... most fitness coaches that we start with when we coach them is getting them set up on Instagram first with a solid content strategy, right? So a content strategy as well as a DM process, right? That feels really good and integrity with them so that every time they get like a new follower, they can message, or it could be somebody, who commented, etc. on a post. Cool. That's huge. Okay. I know it's going to be really tempting to start everything, but I highly encourage you stick with Instagram to start. And then once you're doing like 20K a month or so, I really like adding on either YouTube or a podcast. And the reason I like both of those platforms is that they are more longer form. Okay. And people typically need to consume a little bit longer form content to get to know you better before they buy from you. So like YouTube, this video right now, an example is hopefully nurturing you if you're an online fitness coach, right? Most of the people that do watch our YouTube videos come from Instagram or they come from ads, and then they get pushed over here to learn more from me before they decide, Matt, I think you're great. I want to work with you. Some people never do. Some people are like, hey, I get so much value out of the free content. I never buy. And that's okay too. I know I can only help maybe 3 to 5% of the leads that we actually get. Okay. So mistake number 3 is being everywhere too early. Just pick one platform, be there until you're doing at least 20K a month. Then around 20K a month, add one long form platform. Okay, real quick, if you're liking today's content, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. I create daily content just like this to help health and fitness coaches grow and scale their online coaching business. All right, number 4, the 4th mistake that coaches make in their marketing is, boom, they're talking to their peers, not their ideal clients, okay? You know who I'm talking to right now, talking to peers, okay? And what this means is you're using some scientific jargon, right? Or it doesn't even be scientific, but it's just like, it's jargon that your ideal client does not even know what it is, right? So you have to really peel back and honestly use a 4th grade reading level, okay? 4th grade. And you may hate that. You may be like, well, I like sounding smart. And I hear you, but the people who already know this jargon, they're still going to understand the 4th grade reading level. Okay. This just allows you to have a bigger audience because more people can understand the same message that you're already sharing. It's just more digestible to them. Okay. So drop that. Think about your ideal client, right? I want you to think about the ideal client. I want to think about the problem they have, all right? What is the problem they have and how can you simply state it, right? Okay, I'm gonna give you an example for pain, okay? A lot of people you could make a video about rotator cuff pain. Hey, if your rotator cuff is really bothering you during this, that's scientific jargon, okay? Rotator cuff, a 4th grader has no idea what a rotator cuff is. But if you say, hey, does it hurt when you do a dumbbell press like right here, right? You can legit point to it. Hey, are you having pain right here when you're doing a dumbbell press or when you're pushing up anything overhead, right? Maybe even dumbbell press is too much, but whenever you're lifting anything overhead, better, much better, right? Like you can kind of see that that's a lot easier for someone to be like, yeah, I do have pain right there. Here's a quick exercise that you can do to XYZ, right? Very, very simple, digestible. I got it. That's me. Yes. Instead of rotator cuff pain, right? Or like I've got one client in particular. I tell him that all the time. He works with people with knee pain and he uses the word like tendinopathy. That is not fourth grade jargon, right? Tendinitis still isn't fourth grade the reading level. Now, you can use those words in the content, but that can't be the hook. That's got to be like later on in the video, right? So for example, hey, do you have knee pain or do you have shoulder pain right here? Well, if you do, you might have insert the word, right? Insert the diagnosis or the scientific word, okay? Because now, if you do it that way, you've piqued their curiosity to where they want to learn more about that thing, that diagnosis, so that they can solve it, so that they can feel better, etc. So you can use the scientific jargon, but it's got to be baked in a really creative way that pulls people in to want to learn more. So most of the time I say, just leave it out, okay? Just leave it out. Hey, do you have this shoulder pain right here? Watch this video. I'm going to share with you one of the fastest ways that I found to go from here to here in this time period, or blah, 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 right? Or let me show you what I did with Tom, who was one of my clients, who was also dealing with this. And in just 4 weeks, he got back to insert goal, okay? No scientific jargon, use layman terms. Fourth grade reading level. And mistake number 5. This one's a big one, okay? This one's a big one. And it's trying to outsource your marketing. Do not do this. Okay, do not do this, especially if you're starting out. Now, you might be listening, Matt, I hate marketing. I don't want to create content. All right, if you want to be a business owner, a solo business owner, right, where you're creating content, you're doing sales, you're coaching, you don't have a staff, you've got to learn how to market. You've got to learn this skill. Now, if you're like, Matt, I'm not doing it, I'm not going to encourage you to start your own coaching business if that's the case. What you can do instead, if you absolutely hate marketing, is that you can partner with somebody who already has a big following or a big audience, and you can write the programming for that demographic, or you can run the back end. But that requires you to partner with somebody who likes marketing, okay? Partnering is different than me hiring and outsourcing somebody to run it for me, okay? That's not going to work. You need, especially now in today's age, you need a personal brand. Okay. You need a personal brand. And to have a personal brand, you really do need a face. Okay. This is just the age that we're in 2024. Okay. And without a personal brand or a face, it's way harder to grow because people buy from people. Because they like you, right? They like the way your mannerisms. They like your physique. If you're a fitness coach, they might like that. They might like the way you speak. There's a lot of things that people attach to when it comes to having a personal brand. But if we try to outsource our marketing just because we don't like it, it's really hard for someone who's outsourced this to know who you are well enough and to help you become the face. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. It is your job as a business owner coming back. So, I kind of gave you guys examples. If you don't want to do this, partner with somebody and let them do it, or go be an assistant coach. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Or I call it assistant coach, but being a coach for someone else's business. And there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I started the same way. Okay. I was an assistant coach first. Then after I did that for a couple years, I then partnered with somebody who had a big audience. I monetized the audience. I wrote the programming. I built the business, right? That was the second thing I did. And then third, once I got the confidence and skills and learned all these things, then I started making videos like this, right? I started putting myself out there, but I needed the experience and reps first, okay? Now, if you're in the stage where you're like, Matt, I've already done all the things, I'm ready to grow, you need to learn how to market yourself, right? And hopefully you're watching videos like this that will help. If you haven't already watched the free training, I have a free training that I'll link below that helps coaches start and scale coaching businesses to 10, 20K a month. I'll link that below. Watch that video, watch other videos on my YouTube channel, spend time learning marketing by consuming it. Okay. If you're a fitness coach, you probably spent a lot of time studying, like, I mean, I have so many books over here. I've got Kelly Starrett's books. I've got Gray Cook's books. I've got, even Arnold Schwarzenegger's books, but like I've spent so much time learning from the professionals, learning from the pros, right? Before I was able to just, do my own thing, right? I had to like learn and spend a lot of time learning. Now, if you want to learn marketing, you've got to have the same drive, right? So down here on this shelf is all my strength and conditioning stuff. Up here is all my business and marketing, right? I think there's probably more business and marketing over here too. But I had to spend a lot of time learning that skill, okay? And it's not going to come overnight, just like your ability to learn how to do right programming, do strength and conditioning, nutrition. It took you time. It's going to take you time too to do this stuff, okay? So spend time learning. You can read books, you can join masterminds, take courses. Honestly, even just consuming on the platform content that already does well, just take notes on it. Why do you think this thing did well? What was the hook that was used? What was the body that was used? How could this have been better? How could I make something similar to this with my own message? You have to think about it. And if you can do that, you'll be a successful online coach. So much of the online coaching space is very marketing heavy. Okay, who's the best at marketing and sales typically does the best online. It has nothing to do with the client delivery and fulfillment. As unfortunate as it is, that is really the case of like where we're at right now in 2024. Okay, so those are the 5 mistakes in this video. Let's work through them one more time. Mistake number 1 is being an influencer and not trying to create leads. Mistake number 2 is overpromising results and under-delivering. Number 3 is being everywhere too early. Just start with Instagram. Once you're doing 20K a month, add a long form platform. Number 4 is talking to your peers, not your ideal clients. Use 4th grade reading level. And number 5 is trying to outsource marketing. Instead, become a student, just like you did with strength and conditioning, if you want to own your own business and be the person who generates leads for it. If you don't, like I shared, partner with someone who is good at that stuff, or go be a coach, a full-time coach for another business. All right, that's all I got for today. If you guys like this, again, smash the subscribe button. I create daily content just like this to help coaches grow and scale online. Until next time, peace.